Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken Training. Today what we're going to do is I did a plumbing project at the house on my last video, and I had a seeper leak, and I attempted to make a fix on it, but I couldn't get it to seal because I couldn't get it hot enough because I was only using MAP gas. But today I got with me oxyacetylene, so I have the proper tool needed to get the pipe hot enough in order to get the solder to flow. So let me show you the job right now. Let's get to it. Okay, here's the plumbing job that I did. This is a pressure reducing valve, and I repiped this. The old pressure reducing valve went straight up that way. What I did was I added a couple of pressure gauges so I could see what the city water pressure is right now, about 112, and then after going through the regulator what that pressure is, and you can see I've got it about 71 psi or 70 psi. And in the process of doing this job, you can see I used pretty much all brand new copper, but I had to tie in back to the house at one point, so I tied in right here, and that's where my leak is. And I'm going to show you the seeper leak right now. Hopefully you'll see it kind of seep out right in front of you, but that's the leak that we're here to fix today. So right now I am energized. There you go, you can see that. So right now I am energized with water, so I got to drain the system down, and I've got on my system, of course, I put plenty of shutoff valves. I got the main shutoff valve here with the drain port here. I got a shutoff valve here with the drain port on that too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end up shutting it off here and then shutting down the whole house and bleeding that off. The tool that I did the job with and tried to make that seal with was with MAP gas. That just simply was not getting that hot enough. So today I got the bad boy. I got the oxygen and acetylene set up. I got a nice big fat tip on there so I can get that plenty hot. So temperature is not going to be an issue today, not with this tool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drain the system down, bleed it off, get myself to a zero water condition, and then we'll heat it up. I got with me a couple of solders, so I'm going to try to use this particular solder because I have it in stock right here ready to go. If this one doesn't work, I'll try this particular solder here, and if that one doesn't work, then I'm going to go all the way to this one. This particular product is what I use for my HVAC work, which is this, which is Sta Silva 15, which is a brazing rod. And I can do that with oxyacetylene. I don't want to do it because once you put this on, then the only way to get it off is with oxyacetylene, and let's just say it's a lot of work. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just stick with soft solder because it's just plumbing, not HVAC work. So I just want to stick with hopefully this one right here. But I got some flux ready to go, and I'm good to go. So let me get the system drained out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my hot water heater, and I'm going to throw that knob from hot into vacation mode, so I don't have to worry about that thing starting up. I have me an expansion tank here. I'm going to throw that valve to off, so there's no thermal expansion in the system. I'm just going to leave this tank the way that it's set because I don't need it. So now let me go to the other side. Okay, we're back to our main. I'm going to go ahead and shut this valve off. I'm going to go inside the house now, and I'm going to open up the sinks. Okay, first level restroom. Open up the cold water side. Let that drain down. That's going to go to a zero static state. Let me go to the second floor and open up the same thing. Okay, I'm on the second floor. You hear that? You can hear the air getting sucked in because it's draining out the head pressure of the second floor to the first floor. So I'm just going to leave that in the open position. I'll just put it for a combination hot and cold to make sure that everything is completely neutralized. Okay, back to the first level. I can still see that I'm bleeding out some pressure here, so I'm just going to leave these valves on the hot and the cold open just to make sure that we go to a zero static state. Okay, now that I'm back to the outside, I can see that I've shut off my incoming water pressure here. The house water pressure here, you can see that I'm at zero condition right there. So I'm going to pull off this hose bib valve, get this drained out, and then get this set up. Alright, I pulled off the hose. Now I'm just going to go ahead and open up the hose bib valve here and leave that open, get that drained out. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that, let that drain out. I've got a bleed port here. I'm going to open that and I'm going to let that drain out. Put this bleed cap over here so I don't lose it. So I'm going to let that drain out. While that's doing that, I got me a couple of, I got a bucket of water here, and I'm going to take a couple of socks, and I want to protect, I have a bleed port here, I'm going to pull that cap off too, because these have rubber seats on them. I don't want these rubber seats getting messed up. I'm going to put a rubber sock around this valve here, and not a rubber sock, a wet sock around this valve here. I'm going to put a wet sock around this valve here because I don't want my valves to get hot. I just want the heat to go where the repair is supposed to be made. So I'm going to leave this like that. And I'm going to make sure that the area that I want to get cleaned right here is as clean as possible. So I've got a wire brush here. So I'm just going to make sure that this is clean as clean can be all the way around. Like so. And let me get some paper towels. Be right back. Okay, all the water is pretty much drained out. You can see I got that off, I got the bleed cap off, and that's all open. There's no water coming out. This is the joint that I'm going to be working on right there. I got some emery, so I took my wire brush, went around here real good, cleaned that off. I've got some emery cloth, which is this product here. I'm just going to go around that too. I just want the pipe as clean as possible before I get into it. I'm gonna take my emery cloth, I'm gonna bend it slightly just to try to get inside this joint as tight as I can. And just get that 100%. Wipe that up with a nice clean towel. Go over it one more time with the wire brush. And we're pretty much ready for put the heat on here and try to get this thing going. Let me change your camera angle. I've got a whole nother video on setting up oxyacetylene, but basically I've already got it set. So let me show you what the flame's gonna look like. Alright, pretty much going to look like that. And with this flame, I'll show you my pressures on my tanks. Hold on. Okay, on the acetylene tank, I pretty much got with the gas flowing, I pretty much got it set at 7 psi. And on the other tank, this oxygen tank, I've got that one set. Hold on, let me get that needle, let me get this seat right up here. It's about 15 psi. So I've got about 7 on the acetylene and 15 on the oxygen. Okay, right about here is going to be the best view for you and for me to do the job. I'm going to zoom in on the joint that is of concern so you can see that the best. Right there, and let me get to it. See how hot that's getting? See that bubbling up? That's getting good and hot. So I'm going to try to let the solder follow the heat, so I'm going to bring the heat up. I also want to solder down, so I'm going to bring it down. Let me try that again on the back. Okay, I may have it. I may have it like that. I'm going to start to quench. I'm going to start to quench this down. With a wet towel. And then I'm going to test it out. I got to do a pressure test and test it out. Okay, now I want to get into a pressure test, and I want to see if what I got going on. So let me shut this off. I got to get my bleed screws on. Pull that off. Put it in the bucket. And let me get a little water in here. Let me get that bleed screw on. Now I have to energize the whole house because the joint is that one. So let me open this up. No, I didn't get it. I'm still leaking. I got it in the back, but I'm leaking in the front. Let me shut that down again. I'm going to bleed this system off again. And I want to get that... I'll just go around the whole thing. I thought possibly I could get it just by going in the back. And I got the back sealed up, but I'm leaking over here now. So it's alright. Get the whole thing. That's why we test. I already got the valves open in the house. Let me get this out. Get the water out of the system. I got to take off my bleed screws and do this again. Okay, I'm all set up. Stop dripping. I'm going to give you a different camera angle. This is where I'm going to try to attack right now. And let's get right to it. Right about there. So I'm going to heat the pipe. I got flux here. I'm going to flux this joint. And then I'm going to use solder. First I got to get the pipe hot. You see that's nice and hot. See that steaming? That's beautiful. Alright. Now that I got that, and I got the flux on there, I want this going both directions, up and down. Alright. Let me take the towel. Get that all the way around, nice and good. short here on the top. So while everything's good and hot, I'm going to focus right here. Good and hot. And that joint right there. Once that gets some solder, some flux. And now the solder. The solder follows the heat, so you want it to go up. Okay. Let me inspect that. Still not liking it right there. Okay, let me just do an inspection here. I think I got it. I got to admit, it does still look weak on the back, on the top joint. It still doesn't look 100%. Let me try a test. Okay, let's try a water test here. Let's see what we got going on. Alright, we got 70 pounds on the system. Let's see if we're doing anything. And yeah, I'm still leaking. I can see I'm leaking right in the back on the top joint. Oh boy, this one's a bear. It is a complete bear to get this one, let me tell you. Let me try it again. I might have to use some Sta Silva 15 on this one. Alright, there's a close-up of the joint. I'm going to try to get into it now with Sta Silva 15. And let's see how well I can do with that. And hopefully I will get it and I won't have to deal with this thing again. Alright, that sure looks like I got it. I'm gonna cool this down. Alright, let's get to a pressure test and see where we stand. Let's get into it. I hit that joint really good because I got sick and tired of doing everything to it. Let me get a little pressure in here. Let me shut that off. Let me get my bleed screw in here. Let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. Let's get this out of here. Let me give it another pop. Oh! Got that open still. Oops! Alright, let's get this in here. Alright, let's get some water in there. And let's see if I actually got it. So this thing's been, oh man, I don't got it. Still leaking in the back, I can see it. I don't believe it. I gotta do it again. Yikes. I am still leaking here in the back. As long as I'm into it, everything else is okay except for right here in the very, very, very back. Eef. Alright, we're gonna get it again. Wow. This thing is really killing me today. Alright, so let's get into it. Where is it? It's right there. It's leaking on the top section of that joint in the very, very back. Let me back off just slightly. And let's do it. Alright, clean that up nice. I want to get this puppy done. Let's try it again. Looks like I got it. Okay, we're back at it. I got the main valve open. Bleed screw is on. Incoming city water pressure is at 110 psi, going through the pressure regulator. House pressure right now is at about 70 psi. And I am checking my joint. Now my joint is ugly. I'll be the first one to tell you that there is an ugly joint, and that's just an ugly joint. Okay, look at all my other joints that I did. Okay, I put in, this is all my work here, starting at the bottom. I like my joints to look, like this is a perfect example, just like that. To me, that's a pretty joint. And this is an ugly joint. But this is the one that was leaking on me, and this is one where I tied in my new work to my old work, and I could not get it with soft solder, which is this product here. I had to step up my game, and I had to give it this product here, Sta Silva 15, and that's, you absolutely need oxyacetylene. You'll never do it with MAP gas. Never, never, ever. I couldn't even get the pipe hot enough with soft solder with MAP gas, just because it must have been a little bit of residual water in there, whatever. But right now I'm monitoring it, and it is leak-free, no leaks. I got 70 psi, which is the pressure that I'm going for. It is an ugly joint, but it is not leaking, which was the goal. So that's that. Now I just need to clean all this work up, all this tools and stuff, and get this cleaned up and go back to normal. I almost forgot. I got to come back to this, go from vacation mode back to hot. And now that the water's back onto the house, I can put the shutoff valve to my air expansion tank right here, potable water expansion tank back on, so this way that'll take care of the thermal expansion from the hot water. So that concludes the video. That concludes this job, and if you'd like to learn how to braze, learn how to solder, if you want to see me how I replaced this pressure reducing system in my residence, and did all that type of work, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please click on like, and give me a little bit that way. Leave some comments if you'd like to. Try to get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you later.